there, but I had a black screen, no camera feed. YouTube is kind of weird. It's done some sort of update as well, something to do with the I can set goals for super chats. Set the I'm just doing this just to do it, I guess. There we go. Teal or higher super chat color. Teal or higher, yellow or higher. What does that mean? I'm going to do all the colors. Okay. That's what it should be anyway. Share how you'll celebrate. I'll host a Q&A session. Super chat. Can't see root, but it's super chat. T. Huh. Okay, well that's new. Let's see what's new in the chat. Nothing. I'm going to go with live chat though. I unplugged the microphone because I was afraid maybe that was what was going on. So let's. Okay, that didn't mess with the camera, but it didn't show up either. So, can you guys hear me? It looks like maybe no. You guys couldn't hear me with the microphone plugged in, huh? Oh, you could hear me? Okay. I wonder if it even sounds better. We'll see. We'll see. I think the microphone does sound better. I got to point it at myself though. If I wear it, my beard rubs it though. Hey, what's up, Mulder? Yes, definitely had some technical difficulties tonight. I got started late because my buddy's car wash broke and his maintenance men, both of them, one of them's out of town. The other guy wrecked his truck yesterday and couldn't get to it. So he called me and I went over and seen if I could help him out. I could at least shut it down, which is what I did, and then tried to find out what was wrong with it. But I didn't get home. I had to stop at Dollar General because they had the $10 off a $40 purchase because I'm a cheapskate. But you know, it is what it is. Sounds a little bit better with the mic. Look, I know if I clip it on me. Let me see where I can put it. Maybe on my sleeve. Well, that won't work. Maybe right here. That should probably increase the sound quality, but I might be too loud because I just toned my voice down considerably because I know how close the microphone is to me now. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing good. I decided tonight to go with one of these. I don't even know what these are. These are first generation or second generation. They're between 1980 and 1987, right? I don't think they put the big numbers on until 88. I'd have to go back and look. It might have been 86 that they put them on. I don't think so, though. I don't think the big numbers on the side, I don't think they came until 89. Or, yeah, 89 would have been the first year, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. It's been a minute since I've thought about that. And I guess I've backlogged that knowledge too deep in my backlog. Some 87 to 89 MREs at auction last week. That's awesome. They're not common anymore. Like they used to be common years and years ago, and then we had a time where there were quite a few still on the market all the way up until I would say 2022, 2023, when we had these huge, well, 2021 even maybe. When we had all these huge price changes and in our day-to-day lives, MREs, vintage MREs, kind of disappeared. You can still get amazing deals right now on eBay on modern cases, 2022 cases. You can get 2022 cases, case A and B, shipped to your door for $80 or less. That is a steal. I'm like there. That's a fantastic deal. I need to stock up on MREs while they're so cheap. I need a place to put them that's cool enough that I can store some. And I'm out of space, guys. I'm working on building more space right now, but until I'm done with that and I have that air conditioned and ready, I'm kind of out of space. There was only 5. You got them all though. So you got all. They're all first generations. Cool. What's up, Hard Knocks? All right, well, let's pick the menu here. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put this microphone right over here, which I'm going to hang it on the little, don't know what, cockatoo, I think it's a cockatoo that Dan sent me. That reminds me, hang on a second. This phone's getting ready to die. I did hear back from Sean Rolleryak that runs the online MRE museum. Hadn't heard from him in a while. I texted him back, but I haven't heard back from him yet. He texted me a little bit ago today while I was messing with that car wash. Oh, Dan, you're here. I was just fixing to text you, dude. It's winter in Australia. Dude, I was just thinking the other day, like I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm going to figure it out. But I want to send you a case, at least. At least. You do need to decide if you want A or B, though. That's the only choice you need to make. Case A or case B. All right, so menus that I have here, I've only got 2. These are the 2 that I got with when I bought the 2004 case off of Facebook, of all places. So, yeah, I had planned on being able to get a shower and everything. I didn't get to do that. My board's a little stained up. It's off camera right now, though. So, looks like we've got menu number 7, turkey diced in gravy. That might still be okay. That menu holds up fairly well. And beef diced with gravy. Menu 7 and menu 8. So, yeah. That's what we got to pick from. Or I can change gears. By the way, Dan, did not need to send that super chat, dude. Thank you so much for the super chat. Did I? Oh, you said it's winter in Australia. Let me hit that heart on that thing right there. There's been a whole lot of weird stuff happening this week when it comes to the United States. If you guys don't know, SpaceX is going public this week. And I do believe it's causing all kinds of chaos in, well, I think the entire stock market is going crazy right now. I don't know. I had notifications pop up telling me that it looks like it might be a little crazy. Looks like things are about to get a little western here in the United States. I don't know what it's going to cause. Turkey diced in gravy. That was the first MRE you ever ate, 1984. Wow. That's some cool history right there. First time you had one. Wait, when did you have it? You had it in 1984? Yeah, Thanksgiving in June, turkey diced in gravy. The beef diced in gravy, I'll tell you, like, the turkey diced in gravy being where it's typically, well, it's poultry. And poultry seems to hold up better in a retort pouch than beef does sometimes. But when it's strictly like a beef and gravy situation like this, my guess is that beef will be kind of metallic in flavor. Even without heating it up or anything. It's just something that happens, I guess, to the meat, or maybe it is the packaging bleeding into it. But it's plastic lined. Like, that whole plastic liner would have to break down and be gone, really, I would think, for there to be a metallic leach in of flavoring. So I don't know. I don't know why you get that metallic flavor in them old ones. If it's maybe it's just, I think it's more of an age thing that just happens and brings like the metallic flavors of the meat out. I don't know. I've thought about it before, but I'm not sure why. So I should have looked on MREinfo.com. I didn't want to, because then I would have known what other components were in these, and that would have certainly swayed my opinion on which one I wanted to open. But it seems like these menus right here might have only ran 81 to 85. Maybe I can look without seeing the components. Let's see. Real quick. This phone's about dead. My battery is super low. Oh, yeah, look at that. Stock where it closed. NVIDIA down 6.2. Tesla down 6.56. S&P down 2.64. But, yeah. SpaceX denied early S&P entry. What? S&P Global denied request to fast-track SpaceX into the S&P index. Huh. Interesting. I wonder why. I don't know. I'm telling you, things are going to get weird this week, and it's going to bleed over into our day-to-day lives. It's not just going to be a stock market thing. It's going to be it's going to affect things. Like, there's never been anything like this in history happen, as far as I can remember. Not in my life has a company built up so large and so, it's such a monumental company, and our government contracts, and they went and saved people off the space station. Like, that's they're pretty important. You know what I mean? They literally had to call SpaceX to go and save the people. It was it 3 people, 2 guys and a girl that were stuck up there. I can't remember how many was up there. Maybe it was just 2 people. All right, MRE menus. Where are they at? I'm just going to search MRE menus. There we go. That's not what I was looking for at all. All right, I'll do it the old school way, I guess. Go to meals ready to eat. MRE menus page. All right, so I'm not going to click into these. I'm just going to go down here all the way to the beginning. Down here to the first generation, which is listed as 81 to 85, but I know for a fact that 1980 cases exist. So I know that these let's see, 6 and 7, right? Is that 6? Wait, or is it 7 and 8? 7 and 8. 7 and 8. So turkey diced and gravy, beef diced and gravy. 86. Turkey diced and gravy, beef. Okay, so it could be 86. Could be 87. 88. It cannot be. So they got to be 1980. That's what I thought. Okay. So these could be 81 to 87. Yes. In 1988, they changed. 88 and 89 were a 2-year run of the bag styles, bag types. And in 1990, 90 to 91, they changed. It says all freeze-dried entrees were phased out by 1988. That's also not true. There was a bleed over there, certainly in 1988, if not even, maybe some in 89. I know for sure 88. Anyways, it sounded like you guys were leaning towards the turkey, so let's do the turkey. I think it has a better chance of being better. So the 2004s that I got from this same person, they have been, I don't know, like 50-50 is what I would call them. You know, they're halfway there, halfway not. Some things are weird. Some things certainly they just taste old. They smell old. And it's really the packaging, I think, leaching and corrupting the flavor. infusing its aged scent into the food. But let's cut this bad boy open. No, this is Sapaco. Southern Packaging and Storage Company, Incorporated. Mullins, South Carolina. Alright, let's go. Oh, doesn't smell old. Doesn't smell like an old MRE. There's virtually no smell, just a little bit of plastic scent in there. But that looks amazing. I don't see anything, and I don't smell anything. I don't smell Tabasco. I don't smell anything weird. Yeah, that's nice. Oh. So I don't have to type all this out. I don't. Well, I don't know if you can hear me, Dan. I'll just type it. Google's building the largest data center in the world 10 minutes from my house, and we're fighting it. We're fighting it as much as we can. I had to start this stream over because my camera wouldn't work. It was just give me a black screen. You guys could see, but I couldn't. Okay, let's see what's in this turkey diced and gravy. It's going to be a surprise to me. I know there's crackers because I can feel them on the side, and I know there's turkey diced and gravy. Everything else is a surprise. So let's get the one thing that's not a surprise out of the way. Well, there's two things, but there are the crackers. And no date code. I'm not seeing anything. Nope. No date code on the crackers. Definitely early crackers. Let's find out what year this bad boy is. Next, it feels like the turkey diced and gravy. Whoa. Looky there. A little teeny tiny box. So this is the first gen then. This is 1984. 1984, the 31st day of 1984. That would have to be 84s, right? Yeah. Yep. That's only 5 ounces. So it's almost half a main. Does it have the bean component? Doesn't say on the front, so not sure. But definitely 1984. Ooh, grape jelly. Yum. Love me some vintage grape. This is better than the modern grape jelly. It just is. Well, that's dye on my fingers from the car wash. Some kind of soap or something. There's an 02 stamped on there. Or no. Wait. What the heck? 1402? That's weird. You guys see it? Yeah. 14024. That's not really anything, I don't guess. What's this? Ooh. Nice looking little accessory packet A there. Accessory packet A. Some coffee, cream substitute, sugar, salt, chewing gum, matches, and toilet paper. Nice. What else we got in here? Oh, we got our spoon. The classic MCI style spoon. Next up. Oh, no way. Look at that. Look at that. Freeze-dried hash brown. Potato patty. That is awesome. These things, oh, I don't know. This is questionable. It seems to be sealed all right, but it wasn't sealed very good to begin with. It's definitely got play to it. 50-50 chance on that one. Even though it's freeze-dried, it should be. Does it say freeze-dried on here? Eat dry or reconstitute in hot or cold water. To reconstitute, cover patty with water. Let soak until soft, 2 to 5 minutes, and then drain. Innovative Foods Incorporated. Starlight Street, 179 Starlight Street, South San Francisco, California. It does not say, but we know this is freeze-dried. It's freeze-dried. Very cool. Very cool. What else? One more thing in here? Two more things in here. This is awesome. Ooh, maple nut cake. Yeah. And this was made in 1984. 124th day. 4124. I guess. Yep, no stamps on any of the edges. It's just that. And I'm going to guess that 4124 is, well, that's a much later date than is on here. This was like the 31st day. So this was January 31st, 1984. I would have been, well, how old would I have been? 82 to 83, 83 to 84. I'd have been 2 years old. No, I wouldn't even been 2 yet, would I? 82 to 83, I was 1. 83 to 84 in June, I was 2. Yeah, I would have still been 1. I'd have still been 1 year old, right? Year and a half old. January 31st to 84. I wouldn't have been 2 years old until June. Today's my boy's birthday, and today's D-Day. My boy turned 25 today. Oh, yes. Yeah, cocoa beverage powder. I thought that was peanut butter when I felt in there behind the maple nut cake. I was like, oh, there's something else in there. I thought it was going to be peanut butter, which would have made sense, really, with having the jelly. That is a bonus. That's awesome. I love the vintage cocoa. I especially love the first era of cocoa beverage powder. This is in the good packaging, so it should be fine. It feels fine. I don't see a date code on it. Dan said that my stream is messing up for him, and he's got really good internet. He's over there in the biggest city, and that my stream's messing up because I must be making Google mad. They definitely didn't start my stream off right, but anyway, empty. Yeah, that smells good. That's what you want to smell when you open one of these. It's like virtually nothing. All right, let's go ahead and get this out, and I'll go throw it in water. Oh, yeah. Nice glued in there. This thing looks to be in really good shape. I mean, if the visual indications are any, that even looks really good. Look at that. No, like, massive delamination or anything. I mean, this side's always going to be a little wonky because of the glue, but it's crazy that that's only 5 ounces. Almost a little over half of a typical main. It's crazy that they got enough calories in this thing to make a whole meal here. Yeah, but there's no crazy delamination going on here or anything, and that is a huge indication that you're going to have issues, is if you got big delamination going on. mean, it's a little crinkly right here where it was folded. Like on the, you can see it's all wrinkly. Same thing with where it was folded over. Mainly on the inside, but it's not bad. Right there, a little bit of delam right there. But I would have to say this thing's in pretty good shape. Oh, right there. 4031. That is the correct date code. Alright, I'm going to go throw this thing in some hot water. And nothing else, right? Yeah, nothing else right now. Alright, 3 minutes right now. I do not want to let it be in that hot water any longer than 3 minutes. 3 minutes is, I don't know, it's a sweet spot, really. Especially with the vintage stuff, you don't want to overboil it, because it will, I mean, it'll definitely get metal. It'll just taste metal. Alright, let's get the rest of this onto the tray. Real quick, lights. This is a good one, man. I'm happy about this. This is like just all good stuff. This is all good stuff. I don't think the only thing I would like want is some peanut butter to go with them crackers, really. Just a little bit. There we go. Potato patty, grape jelly, nut cake, accessory packet, crackers. I always usually put the crackers in the middle. I don't know why. And cocoa beverage powder. Oh yeah. This is awesome. I haven't had a brown bag in a minute. It's been, I don't know, it's been at least been a few months, it seems like. I'd have to go back and look, but the last time I had one was on live stream, so I hadn't had any just like recreationally. Let's see what kind of condition this accessory packet is in. Somebody, if you can, remind me on the time. All right, first up, we got some kind of off-green, OD green matches that are, of course, D.D. Bean & Sons. Strike on back, white tip, blackish purple matches. Item number 1 out of the accessory packet. We have our Amstar sugar, Amstar Corporation sugar. 6 grams. This is what we need. Has it been 3 minutes already? All right, I'll finish the accessory packet and then I'll go get it. Coffee Instant, 2.2 grams net. This is with the ascorbic acid. Nice. We got our little Stickney and Pour iodized salt. Our cream substitute dry non-dairy. Everything feels good so far. Let me feel that coffee. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good stuff. We got our, these look really white. Really good looking chiclet style gum. And last but definitely not least, you've got your United States issue butt ration in the blue variety. So that you can, I don't know. Yeah, it'll be purple when you wipe. I don't know what blue and brown make. More brown, I guess. Okay, let me go. Has it been 3 minutes? It's been 3 minutes, right? I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's been 3 minutes. Maybe it has, though. Let's use... Today we're going to use... We need 2 cups. So we're going to use Where is my... Oh, there it is. I'm going to use 2 other MRE channels. I'm not going to use Dan's cup today. I'm going to use Germ's MRE cup and Mr. Delicious's cup. Right there. Delicious MRE. Link down in my description. I don't have a link to Germs. I need to get that put in there. But easy to find. Easy to find. All right, I'm going to go grab that. I'm sure it's been 3 minutes now. It has to have been. I would think. I hope. Don't want to be in here. I don't need any cold water. It's all going to be hot. All hot water. All right, main's ready. Let's get some of this stuff out of the way. We don't need the gum. We don't need the butt ration. Probably won't need the salt. Well, I got other salt on standby up here. Other MRE salt. We don't need the matches. And there's the extras. Okay. Let's see what. Do coffee in the delicious cup. It's probably going to be spray dried coffee, right? Probably. Makes 8 fluid ounces. That's nice instead of 6. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Looks like perfection to me. Yep. Piece of the packaging down in there. If I can get that out of there or not. Okay. Let's see if I can fish it out of there. Oh, almost had it. Okay, I got it, I think. If not, we'd definitely see that floating in the coffee later. So, we'll know if I got it or not. I think I did. We'll do the creamer next. See how it's looking. Alright. Perfect. Looking good. Looking good. Oh, yeah. Nice little amount, too. It doesn't tell you how much creamer you're getting, does it? Yeah, it does. 4 grams. 4 grams. And then 6 grams of sugar, which is the right amount for a cup of coffee this size. It kind of, in my personal opinion, is about perfect. So we'll put the sugar over here. Nice. It does look brand new. You are correct. This is a good one. So far, this thing looks fantastic. Doesn't smell off. I'm surprised, too, because the 2004s are in worse shape than this. Like, by a good bit, I gotta say. Like, there's a substantial difference between those and this already. And I haven't even tried anything yet. But just based off the smell, the look, everything. This one right here is in way better shape. Which I think the old stuff, I don't know. Maybe it holds up better. I don't know. I feel like they kind of have gotten off track of what the mission was for what MREs are supposed to be. And they've just kind of just maintaining status quos. And, you know, the bar's gotten lowered and lowered and lowered and lowered so many times that now I don't know. In my personal opinion, they're just not up to par. I think they should get back to the basics, back to what this used to be. Like, this is simple, and there's not a whole lot to it, but it's good, and look at how well it can hold up. I don't know if they care about how well it holds up anymore, really. To be honest, I don't think that's on their card of things that they give a crap about anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. What is it? A toilet paper holder? Army mocha. Oh no, I want the hot cocoa by itself. It's so good. It's so good on its own. What about a toilet paper holder? Yeah, I like to keep. I don't know. I'm a big fan of especially the early cocoa beverage powders. Man, they're so good. And oh no, dang it, no. Oh, I gotta. I don't want to waste that. Scrape it over to the other side over here, and I will manually clean that up with my finger here. My first taste of it. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Look at that. Oh, put some in my hand here. I could eat this dry. It's like, I don't know, it's like eating powdered brownie dough, or like powdered brownies or something before you put the oil and stuff in it, the eggs. Just the mix, maybe. I don't know. It's so good. This early stuff wasn't all sugar. There was a whole lot more cocoa to it. And it tastes like there has to be a little bit of salt in there. Has to be. Because it hits you in the back of the tongue like that tangy, make your mouth water like salt does. I can definitely taste the salt. It's not a whole lot, but it's there enough that I can taste it. Look at the amount of powder you get too. Like, that is a mountain. That's a mountain of powder. You can't really tell how much. It's a lot. It's a lot. It really is. Make sure I got all that out there. Yep. I'm not going to go as far as to lick that out, but I could. It's that good. I freaking love it. I love it. I love it. So good. I'm going to take another bite of it, though, because why not? The powder, it's just as good or better than mixing water in it. I don't know. It's like powdered chocolate candy. All right. I'm going to go put some water to these two. And I will be right back. That water cooler that I've got in there, it's got hot water on it. That thing has came in really handy. It's nice to have. I like it. Get the coffee a stir, which it didn't need it. Everything does. That's what you want to see, right there. Well, there's a little tiny bit of creamer right there that didn't. I don't know why that didn't dissolve already, but you don't want your coffee grains to still be sticking around after you put boiling hot water to it. It should just dissolve really quickly, just like that. I'll give this a quick stir. Oh yeah, that stuff is like currency to me. I would certainly pay. Yeah, this is better than anything you could go to Starbucks or really anywhere. In my opinion. Now I'm a little biased because I have certainly conditioned my palate to enjoy these things, but I think just about anybody would enjoy this cocoa beverage powder. If you like hot cocoa, you'd love this. Yeah, no greasy floaties. That's that old first generation coffee instant it's just really good. The spray dried stuff, it's got really good flavor. The ascorbic acid is nice. I don't know. It's a nice addition, really. There, finally dissolved off the spoon. All right. There we go. Okay, next we will go with crackers. They are certainly still nicely sealed. Look at the weird, like, notches in them crackers that you can see through the packaging. I'm hoping these should be the salted ones still, but I do not see and feel the salt like I usually do on the first generation. So, like, you just don't see, you see the texture of the cracker, but not the salt. Usually you can see the salt through the packaging. So let's see. Good grief. I can't rip that. My Lord. That is some tough packaging. Well, if there was a hiss, I didn't hear it, but I had to cut it, so. Let's see. Wow, look how toasted. Oh, yeah. These are money. They smell perfect. Little bit of malted barley scent coming off of those. Really nice toasted smell. You can taste, I mean, they smell toasted. Look at them. So much better than the modern version. Like, see, they need to get back to these too. These were 10 times more durable. I mean, that's a big upside to these as well. But these taste, I don't know, not 10 times better, but considerably better. I would much rather have these. I would pick these every time over the modern version. These are the best version of the MRE crackers that exist, in my opinion. Look at that score line. I promise you it will not break there. We can try it, but it ain't going to happen. All right, prove me wrong, cracker. I got my fingers right on the back where the line's at. Give it the best chance. Even distribution. Hey, look at that. Proved me wrong. Those broke pretty nicely. That's not normal. Usually they don't break like that. There's a different version of these first generations that have, I don't know, they're slightly different than these. They're not usually as toasted as these. They got more visible salt, and the score lines are different. Those I have had where I could break them into 4, and they look just like saltines. They're thicker than a saltine cracker, but they look almost just like a saltine because they break properly. I did make a mess, though. Let me see if I can clean that up real quick, or it will bother me. Okay, I'm trying to look down at the chat when I can. Oh, the Stanley Cup's on right now? I picked a bad time to be live streaming, didn't I? I am not I've never watched soccer a day in my life. It's never happened. So, that's why I didn't know. Not that I wouldn't. I mean, I think that watching the World Cup and the Stanley Cup, is there a difference? They're about the same thing, ain't they? Or are they the same? Probably not. They're probably different. Oh, that's too kind. You are too kind. But again, I'm not a soccer watcher, so I would rather watch ration content myself. That thing is hard. Huh. That's a little weird. A little weird. It's like really, really hard. Unusually so. Almost like it's been compromised and it's been drying out. Let's find out. Wait, this had a date code on it, didn't it? Yep. 4124. It's the 124th day. There we go. Ripped really nicely. Okay, there's some extra batter. A little bonus right there. Bonus sliver. Maple nut cake. I think it's too big to come out of the package. It is. I'm going to have to split the package open to get it out. Look at that. It's pushed over so far over here, I don't think... Well, I might be able to squeeze it out like a toothpaste. Yeah. Mess it up a little bit, but... Yeah, there it is. Huh. Okay. It's like super, super soft and oily. Look at the oils. Forgive my dirty hands. Like I said, I didn't have time to get in the shower after I got back from working on that car wash. A little bit of leftovers back in the packaging. It smells a little weird. I don't smell the maple like I think I should. I don't know. It ain't got much of a smell at all, really. That might be a good thing. Might be a good thing. Open the grape jelly next. Smaller the hole, more control, as Gundog says. There it is, a little tiny sliver off the edge. And this gem of a potato patty, which is a freeze-dried hash brown, as you can tell by the shape, it feels like it hasn't taken on moisture or anything. It's just there's room in the packaging. I don't feel like they vacuum sealed it very well, and they left room in there instead of it. The technology wasn't that great. You'll notice that the first generations, a lot of the stuff that was freeze-dried will be loose like this. The fruit, I've had it loose like this, or looser, even more so than this, and it was fine. But most of the time, if the fruit is loose, it's bad. Most of the time. So let's fingers crossed on this one. Oh yeah, look at that. A little internal packaging so you can put water in it right there. Oh yeah, let me smell it. Huh. That smells like old oil. Kind of rancid. Not bad. Not too bad. I don't know. I'm borderline on this one so far. It certainly smells like old oil that is starting to go rancid. But visually, and the scent isn't super off, so it might be okay. We might be fine. How's this open? Is this double sealed? Are you kidding me? I've never seen that before. Is it really? Well, that might have saved it, folks. Look at that. What in the world? Wait, looks like there's a flap here. There it is. Oh, okay. Okay. I was thinking that was another sealed little bag. That would have been good, actually. Okay. Kind of smells like old tires. Like old vulcanized rubber. We will find out. I'm going to just leave it right there in the bag like that for now. Okay, everything else is open except the main. Let me get the bowl for the main. Keep it moving and grooving here. Some crumbs that I can get off there. The maple nut cake is oxidized. The nuts do not look good. But that's okay. That is okay. This should be nice and hot still. And instead of trying to switch sides to the tear notch side, I'm just going to cut the top here. Because see the tear notch is down there where the food's at. And there is stuff up in here too, which is, I don't know. I should have worked it all down into one puddle. See? There's some inside the empty part of the pouch. Oh, okay. Well, that looks good. It smells good. It smells like turkey. It smells exactly like Thanksgiving turkey. Oh yeah, that is not pleasing to the eye. Not appetizing looking at all. It looks like well, looks like cat food. That's okay. It tastes way better than that, I'm sure. All right, let's get the spoon here. Get the scraping. Okay. There's a bunch left down there in that corner. There we go. I think I got a good chunk of it. There's only 5 ounces there. I got as much as I could. I don't know. The way this smells, it smells like it's going to be good. What do I do with this empty pouch? Set it right there. Okay. I do. Here, let me get rid of this and grab a napkin real quick. A real one. All right. Step Brothers is on. Came on right as I was starting the stream. Cracker crumbs. That smells really good. I can smell it from back here. And it does. It smells really good. Does not look good. I will give you guys that. It's not, what is that? Some kind of herb or something? Oh, look at the fat. Weird. You know what? As long as this isn't like off from age or heat, this is probably better than just about anything you could go buy today. Our food has been so compromised, guys. All right, I'm going to take a small bite first. Give me some white meat. Is there any white meat in there? It's all like pink. All pink. All right, first bite. Turkey diced with gravy. Down the hatch. Little metallic is what I noticed, but the gravy is really nice, savory. Just tastes like turkey gravy. The meat has a really nice texture to it. Really nice chew. The fibers of the meat are exactly what you'd expect from poultry, which is what I want to, that's what I want, which I don't find a lot with chicken nowadays. It's all weirdly processed. See that grain of that meat right there? Oh, see that? That's what I want to see. Yeah, that tasted good. First bite, no side effects. Good taste. A weird piece sticking out there. Second bite. Let's see if I get any weird side effects on the second bite. That is good. That is fantastic. I am shocked this thing is in such good shape. Wow. This is going to go perfect with some crackers. Little strips to like scoop it up on and eat it like a dip, I guess. Kind of like that. Wow, that cracker's flavorful. I should have tried the cracker on its own first. But it mixes really well with that turkey. This thing is, so far, the turkey is in great shape. Great shape. What is it? Is it 42 years old? Or what? Yeah. 42 years old? Are you kidding me? Holy cow. That, I could feed that to somebody and they'd never even question its age. Never. I want to just try the cracker on its own here. Not too much salt, but it's there. It's not like smack you in the face salty. It's very well balanced. The caramelization from the toasting makes it have a really kind of smoky and earthy flavor. These crackers are fantastic. They're so much better than the modern ones. I mean, there's no competition. Really, there's not even a competition. This turkey is really good. I didn't expect this, guys. If I'm being honest, I thought this thing was going to be toast because of the heat stress that the 2004s have. And I thought, well, same person had these, so they had to have seen heat. But so far, usually, especially a Maine, will suffer. And that's not what's going on here. So savory and salty, and the turkey's really nice, good quality. I gotta have a couple more bites and then I'll stop. Okay, a couple more bites with the cracker, and then I'll. I wish I could share this with you guys. I know it's zoomed in, but can I zoom out? There we go. A lot of people that aren't familiar with me and this, well, I ain't no way that guy's eating that. Well, two thumbs up. I'm going to eat all this. I would just eat it all right now because it's nice and warm, but we'll move on to the potato. Let's see. We might put some of that in there. I don't know. I don't feel like they mix very well, but maybe. That's what happened when I went to pull it apart. Okay. It is very, very dry still, which is what we want. Doesn't feel like or seem like moisture's gotten to it or anything. It does smell like rancid oil. Take a bite, just a big bite here. Mm. Oh yeah, yeah. I was just talking to the field producer of Eating History the other night, and I brought up the having those au gratin space potatoes. Okay, so that tastes good, but there is a little bit of stinging going on in my throat and the back, like the back of my tongue. There's certainly some rancid oils there, but it tastes like the potato sticks. You know, the little potato sticks. But yeah, funny thing about the the package of space potatoes that we had, we were filming that, and while we were filming it, I don't know, my brain put together about what day it was, like number. You know, like this was 124th day was when Maple Nut Cake was made in 1984, and I was like, that might be kind of close. So I hollered at one of the production assistants, and I said, hey, look up on your phone which day, whatever it was, the 124th day of whatever year it was, 1996 or whatever year it was. Look up exactly what the date was. And they looked it up, and I was like, that's today. It was literally the same day. Or no, it was the day before. We were shooting preliminary, and we were going to be eating it the next day. So it wound up that we were going to be eating those space potatoes on the exact same day that they were put in the packaging. Those things were flown to space and brought back, which is a rare thing to happen. Typically, they just jettison any leftover stuff. They don't want to bring it back. But they brought this. They brought some back, and that was one of the pouches that came back. Pretty cool. All right, freeze dried potatoes in with the turkey, diced in gravy. Let's see how those work together. Mm-hmm. Mm. Hmm. Mm. It adds a crunch. Doesn't really change the flavor, but I do pick up on the rancidity of the oils in the potato, in the hash brown. I don't know. It's not horrible. This could use like a little salt. They should have added a little salt to it right before they stuck it in the freeze dryer. I'm sure it's got salt in it though. It just doesn't taste salty. Mm. It's not bad. It's not great, but it ain't bad. Mm-hmm. I want more of this before I move on. The cracker and the turkey diced in gravy is the bomb. Mm. I could eat the rest of that in like 3 bites, 2 or 3 bites. Mm. So good. All this is really good. I'm not complaining about this. This is fine. My throat's burning a little bit, but it's fine. Nothing I ain't had a million times before, or that I'm not used to. Okay, wash that down with a little bit of coffee. Wish I had a cold drink. That's the only thing. So coffee after turkey diced in gravy and crackers and hash brown. I don't know. I guess it's certainly in the breakfast area. You know, with the hash brown added in, the turkey diced in gravy would be perfectly fine for a breakfast. I would be fine with that. Especially adding the hash brown in there, like crush it up, put it in there, and eat it on the cracker. Oh yeah, that's a breakfast. That's a breakfast. This coffee is perfection. It is great. Oh, yeah. Just the right amount of sweetness. It's got a nice bite from the tannins that are going on in there. The ascorbic acid you can pick up on. It's kind of nice to wash that stinging sensation out of my throat, too. Maybe that's why it's so good. That's part of the reason, anyway, I think. Because that does work. That hot liquid of the coffee. Well, maple nut cake. Yeah, let's do the grape jelly first. Let's see how runny it is. It's probably going to be pretty runny. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's quite dark. I've seen way worse, though. It's not that bad. It looks pretty good. So, I mean, it's not super runny. Look at that. It's almost held straight up and down. All right. Grape jelly. Cracker. You could put almost anything on those crackers and it'd be good, though. I'm not trying to... I'm being serious. They're fantastic crackers. Before I used to eat a bunch of rations, I probably wouldn't have liked these crackers so well. But I'm not a big saltine guy either. I don't like saltines. I don't put them in my soup. I don't eat them with anything. If I eat crackers, it's going to be like a Ritz or like a Clubhouse, like the rectangle cookies. Crackers. That grape jelly's in really good shape, actually. It's still got a lot of flavor. It's not too runny. Like I said, it's got good color to it. It's got a nice purple color to it still. You can kind of see it on that outside edge a little bit, kind of. Up there at the top. When this stuff starts going off and getting weird, it turns brown, like very, very brown. This has still got good color, so this is in really good shape. Yeah, that's good grape jelly. I feel really bad about letting that sit there and get cool. I want to eat the rest of it. All right, I'm going to wash that down with some... Yeah, I'm going to wash it down. Cocoa beverage powder. First drink. Here we go. That had like almost like a head on it. Like a frothy coating on the top of it. You can kind of see it. Super sweet, creamy, chocolatey. Everything that you want. It's like a high quality cocoa too. This is back when food was still food. Like, this was really, really good. I wish I had 100 of those. So good. So good. All right, the one thing that I think might be a little weird is this maple nut cake. Because, look, it's super, super hard. Which it's not. It shouldn't be this hard. I've had a lot of I've had a lot of nut cakes, and I've had them with super oxidized, rancid nuts in them, which this appears to have some very oxidized. They could still be good. They could just be very oxidized. So let's break a chunk off. Look at the cross section. Not looking great, but it's very, very hard. It's not quite concrete. I think somebody said concrete. Oh, cocoa, nope. This has like a slightly sour smell to it. I think it's from the nuts. It does not smell of maple anymore, which is weird. I can't think of a maple nut cake that I've had didn't smell like the maple. I don't know what that smells like. It doesn't smell like maple. It smells a little doughy, I guess, and a little sour. But I'm just gonna take a bite of it, and we'll see. We'll see what it tastes like. So, here. That is way too big a bite, but I'm just gonna eat that, and we'll see. We'll see how it is. Okay. Not as hard as I thought it'd be. First impression. Uh-oh. Mm. 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 Hmm. Well, okay. So it's coated my mouth in the grease coating, and there is some rancid oil effects, rancid fats, rancid oils effects going on my cheek and my tongue. But the flavor was not bad. Didn't taste weird. It had nice texture to it. I'm not complaining about that other than the rancidity that it's got going on. And it's almost tolerable. It's kind of over the tipping point of where I'm comfortable with how bad the side effects are. But it's not so bad that I won't take another bite. That's it. The texture is really weird. Mm-hmm. It's like biting into Play-Doh, and then when you start to chew on it, it turns to dust. Mm. Very rancid. I don't think it's the nuts either. Like the nuts, I'm not getting the effect from the nuts. I'm getting the effect from the dough, from the cake itself. Mm. I don't know. It's like I said, it's just kind of borderline on my tolerance level, what I'll put up with when it comes to eating vintage food like this, because I hate to waste it. But there's some pretty strong side effects to that. The coating of my mouth is quite thick, and the stinging sensation is, yeah, it's there. My lips and my cheek. I want to try eating this piece right here, see if it's. Well, I ain't gonna be able to really tell. Yeah, I'll wait and see if I can't get my mouth cleared out a little bit before I try that. Try the cocoa beverage powder. Favorite moment in eating history. Wow. I don't know that I could pick one. I mean, I guess, does that mean what made it to TV, or just in general, like life experience, things we were doing? What, picking just one would be pretty hard. Uh, hmm. I'm having a hard time to getting that coating out of my mouth. I might have to actually wipe it out with a paper towel. You guys ever eat one of them like Dunkin' sticks, them donut sticks or whatever they're called, and it coats your mouth in that coating? It's like that, but 2 or 3 times worse than that, because it's almost like a fat coating or something. I don't know why it does that. It's got something to do with your saliva response. Excuse me, to the rancid fats and oils. Yeah, it's the maple nut cake's the only thing that I feel like kind of didn't make it. But before I move on, before I start doing anything else, I want more of this. I want more of this. Oh, yeah. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, potato. I'd rather just eat it on its own, I think. One more bite. One more bite. Mm. That is really good. Mm-hmm. Let me think about that favorite moment thing for a minute. I'm currently thinking about that. Hmm. Okay. I've got that rancid everything out of my mouth. Let's see if this has it. I don't know if it will because I don't know, it might be different where it was thin and crimped tighter. I don't know. Let's see. Barely enough there to get a gauge on. There's enough there though. Mm. Hmm. That's sweeter too. Okay, I didn't get any weird side effects from that. That tasted way better than the cake itself. Now, maybe because it didn't have nuts in it. That could be. Mm-hmm. Didn't really taste like maple though either. Just kind of a sweet, like almost kind of like a pasty fruit roll up. Mm. Seriously, wish I had 100 more of those. Just loose, just to have whenever. And look, I've bought all the cocoa beverage powders and Starbucks cocoa beverage. Nothing even compares to the first generation, second generation, even third generation, maybe even fourth generation cocoa beverage powder. There were some changes in there, but first generation is the best. And if you can get a good one out of an MCI, those are fantastic as well. Hmm. 1984. I have. Okay. I'm going to smoke this one. I don't care. We're going with the Lucky cigarette out of this pack of Marlboros. What in the world? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. I already smoked it. Oh, no way. What was that? It must have been like off a broken cigarette or something. Oh, man. Huh. That's where I cut the filter off. Look, that's what was sticking up out of there. I thought I had one left in there. Dang it. Hmm. Where else do I have something that's... I think... have buried right here. Get back in there. Come on. Marlboro pack, you're just for looks now. You're empty. You're not any good to anybody but wants to display you. Alright, my cigar box here. I think I got some vintage Pall Malls. I think. Oh, yes. Do I have any left? Oh, look, there's where one of my cigars from McSorley's is at. I was looking for them last week. Right there. I don't remember who I was talking to about that or what brought that up, but I should have at least 2 of those. I thought I had 3, but maybe I've only got 2. Wow. Alright, which one's the lucky one? Not that one. Alright. Almost out of my vintage Pall Malls. I've got 3 left, 4 left, 3 or 4. Well, maybe 4 counting this one. Okay, so you're supposed to light this end, but I usually pack it down a little bit and I light them backwards, the non-filters. Twist that around a little bit and tighten it up. There we go. Alright. Vintage Pall Mall, non-filter. Some matches. I need a haircut. It's been a minute since I've had a non-filter like this. But this meal, it deserves it. It's a good one. That already came untwisted. I didn't pack it down enough. That is some good tobacco. Super smooth. Nice flavor. If you could have bought your way out of having to fight in World War II, or fight, would you fight? Well, you had to grow up the same way. Well, here's the thing. Your odds, I'm going to imagine, I don't know exactly what they were, but they weren't great, of coming home. Like, we lost a lot of men over there, and women too, but we lost a lot more men, obviously. I'd like to actually know what that statistic is. What do I do with that other? I don't know what I've done with that other phone. Oh, right there it is. Buried it with all the stuff I took off of accessory packet. Had the Marlboros in it that are gone. Candy bars, some kind. Not sure what those are. So, my initial gut reaction, knowing how I am, I think I would have been all in. Especially the way the country portrayed itself, the pride that most people had in this country at that time, during that era. Having a family here that you didn't want to have a foreign nation come here to attack. I mean, I would have to say that I would have went. And I have to imagine that the odds were not very good that you were going to come home. So you went to fight in. Okay, so statistics. The total people who served in World War II were 16.5 million. There were also 473 Medals of Honor given during World War II, but the majority of those were posthumous, and only 199 of those were awarded to soldiers who were still alive. Your odds of being alive and receiving the I didn't say anything about the Medal of Honor. No. And receiving a Medal of Honor was 1 in 145,000. But that's not the question I asked. If you went to fight in World War II, what were the odds that you'd make it home alive? That's the proper question. All right. Well, maybe I should have read more. I worded it differently. Okay. Not as bad as I thought. 1.8% chance of dying based on 290,000 deaths per 16 million total service members that fought. So this is somewhat misleading as it bundles infantrymen and rear echelon service members who obviously faced wildly what? It should say different levels of risk. I don't even know what that word is. Overall average would be around 5%. Well, then you'd have a 1 in 50 chance. No, 5%. That'd be 2. It'd be 1 in 25. Anyway, 5% chance of not coming home. But I don't think any of the guys like my grandpa that went and fought. For instance, he was shot on two separate occasions. He was shot in the chest the first time, I think. I might have this backwards. Might have been the chest the second time. But I think it was the chest the first time. He went, got bandaged up, and went right back. Second time, they blew his wrist out. Like his left wrist, I think. Pretty sure he always wore his watch on his left hand, like you're supposed to, but yeah, I think so. Anyways, his whole wrist right here was like concave, and a lot of it was gone. He still had functionality in both his hand and in his hand, so I don't know. They must have had pretty decent surgeons back then, but he had a big old crater in his wrist where he got shot through the wrist. But yeah, he got shot on 2 separate occasions and got 2 separate Purple Hearts for that reason, and went back to fight both times. So I don't think that the mentality of the men back then, I'm going to say most. There's always an exception to every rule. But if I was to say, like, probably 95% of men that were called upon or even volunteered, they wanted to go fight. And I would say I would be in that group. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't think I got it in me to try to buy my way out of something like that. That was the initial question. I don't think that's just not who I am. Like I said, the climate of the country, the pride, our country was working quite well at those points. They'd just gotten over the Great Depression. Things were way up on the upswing. Things were getting better. People were doing better. And of course, just like they've turned this in, and I think World War I's probably what, it may have been long before that, but definitely with the industrial age being upon them during World War I, and them seeing the amount of money there was in war. And then during World War II, America began to thrive because of all of the war production that happened. So, yeah, I mean, I think that prosperity lasted quite some time. The money, but they were passing it down to the working class still at that point. Like the working class, single worker family, single family worker household. They only need one person to work to support a family. Heck, a janitor could support an entire family back then. It was not an issue. I mean, that was probably the case all the way up until maybe the 80s, early 80s. Don't even get me started on that rant. Like why I think it is the way it is and what has happened and why we're kind of where we're at now. There's a lot going on, and I think that something big is coming. And I think a lot of people feel that way. And I think a lot of people are thinking that way. And it's gonna take all of us to get involved. I think I've mentioned, like, we've got to stop calling these things data centers, and we've got to start calling them what they are. They're surveillance centers. They're not data centers. They're going to store data about you. Everything about you. Where you go. What times you go. Your routines. Why you go there. How much money you spend. How much money you've got in your bank accounts. What your emotions are like. As much as you're on camera, they're going to be judging your emotions with an AI assessment robot. Like, that's already happening. Like, this is not stuff that I'm making up. Like, it's going to be this dystopian. No, this is already happening. So, the book, 1984, is like they're using it as their playbook. It's like it's become real life. My question is, how much of this are we going to put up with? Because only as much of this stuff will happen as we allow to happen. We outnumber them so massively. And Rockefeller wrote this very telling document or letter long time ago about his plan and the way the education system, all that stuff. But he kind of wrapped it up with, if they ever find out, we're all cooked. We're all done. All the elites at that time, including up to now, they're all done. And that's all it takes is us to decide we're done. We're not putting up with this no more. It's time we put our foot down. We've been used and abused long enough. We're not going to allow this to happen any longer. And we do something about it. And it ain't got to be no crazy, violent out. It's as simple as everyone deciding to not go to work. Everyone. Everyone that is in the working class just decide, you know what? If we all band together and we all decide truckers aren't going to work, rail workers aren't going to work, people work on boats ain't going to work, people go to powerhouses ain't going to work, down the line, yes, our power will go off. Yes, our water will go off. That's the side effect of us deciding we've got to fix this. So everyone needs to prepare for that. But as soon as they have a week or two of no money rolling in, I mean, we got them. It's that simple. It really is that simple. I feel like if we could all just get on the same page, it's not a left-right issue. They've pitted us against each other so massively and over some of the silliest things that if you'd have told my grandpa in 1990 that this would be the world that we're living in right now, or let's just say, well, he passed away in 94. So how many years ago was that? 32 years ago. A lot has happened in the last 32 years. A lot. But yeah, I think it's up to us. How much are you willing to put up with? I mean, I I think if you were to be able to manipulate time and take an entire group of people from that generation during, let's just say, their mid to late 20s, after World War II, let's talk about 19 Korean War era. Just take that whole group of people, bring them to now, and drop them in today's world. Could you imagine what they would think and what they'd be willing to do to try to fix this? We've been slowly, and this is in the Rockefeller letter, that it was drip fed to us so slowly, and they're in it for the long game. I'm telling you right now, they don't care if their plan that they've had for however long takes 100 years to complete or 200 years to complete. But it seems to be going quite rapidly since the release of AI, and now we're this massive movement towards these surveillance centers, and you've got flock cameras that have exploded and they're everywhere. But people are fighting back. People are done. We're fighting back. We're trying to stop this data center down here. I hope that we can stop it. I really do. Really, really do. Right now, though, my thoughts are the odds of that happening are not very good. But more people seem to be catching on. When I went to the first meeting that I went to, I don't know if there were more before this, about it was supposed to be a carbon capture plant, and then they just swapped in the data center, didn't tell us, just nope, it's not going to be a carbon capture plant anymore, it's going to be a data center. And well, first of all, they shouldn't have been allowed to do that. But in West Virginia here, our representatives passed something called House Bill 2014, West Virginia House Bill 2014. And if you want to see a piece of legislation that will just absolutely make your blood boil, pull that up and read it. I'm telling you, it's stripped all of us West Virginians of our voice. We have no say so. Period. And then there's a taped meeting about this, and someone was asking those exact questions, like, what are the citizens supposed to do? And one guy, he just answers, he's like, there's nothing they can do. The way this bill's written, there's nothing they can do. So there you go. That's our representation. For this to have happened, and for them to went against our entire state's best interest the way they have, there had to be a lot of money involved. And that's all you got to do is follow the money, and you'll figure out what's going on every single time. Money is the root of all evil. It really is. I mean, in government, let me say that, for sure, in government. I got strong opinions about these things. That's probably not the best for my public image or my, continuing to be a public figure type status, but I don't say anything that isn't true or isn't quite apparent to me, and should be to everyone else as well. But hey, if you guys don't care to hit that thumbs up or down, either way, just give Google your feedback, because they want to collect it and put it in their surveillance center, so they know what you like. They already know because you're watching this, but you know what I'm saying. I really do wish I had 100 of these. Anyway, what have you guys been doing over the past week? Anything interesting happened in the community, folks here? The truth is always what they try to silence the most, I've noticed, anymore. And it's not that it's necessarily mean towards any certain group of people or anything of that nature. And you know what? I hear these guys, a lot of times it's these Hollywood guys or these guys that have very large platforms like, I don't know, John, what's his last name? John, Daily Show, John Stewart, Colbert, Joe Rogan. These guys are like, you know what? I don't have any problem with immigration. And, I would have said the same thing 5 or 6 years ago. But after we had an open border that let tens of millions of people, like we can all solidly say that tens of millions of people were allowed to walk into our country. Hey, thanks for the super chat, Survival Empire Ration Reviews. I will give that a like and a heart. Thank you very much for the super chat. But I'll tell you where I stand on the immigration thing, and I think this is one of my more controversial takes, I guess. But I will preface it by saying that if you'd asked me 6 years ago, I would have said, you know what? I'm all for immigration. If you come here the right way and you go through the process, those are the people that we want. And that process and the way it's structured is for a reason. Because the people that are willing to go through that process and wait to go through that process are the people that really want to be here and integrate into our country. With the open border, we know there were a bunch of terrorist types that came over. We don't know who they are yet. I mean, I think that they have an idea who some of them are, but we don't know. There were tens of millions of people that walked across that border that are unaccounted for. They're voting in our elections. They're driving wages down. They're making housing shortages. Like, what do you mean? Like, all these things are negative. And they won't integrate into our country. They come here and they bring the exact same values, culture, and bad habits from the places that they came from. So why I said all that is because now I feel like we need to put a hold on all immigration until we deal with all of the people that walked across the border illegally. I'm sorry you didn't go through the process like those people that they could have spent years on the waiting list. And then all the time, and I think money, I'm not sure how much it costs to become a U.S. citizen, but I don't think it's free. Maybe it is. I don't know. I know Donald Trump was selling, like, what do you call them, golden tickets, and they were like, was it like $1.2 million? I don't know, but something like that. Like, you could pay your way into becoming a United States citizen the way he had it set up. But we need to put a pause on all of it, deal with the people that are here illegally. They need to go home. We even offered to give them, what was it, $3,000? This wasn't that long ago, like 6-8 months ago, maybe. It wasn't that long ago that they were offering to give them $3,000 and I think a plane ticket home. Like, you're not going to go home empty-handed. You're getting $3,000. Why are we giving them money? Why are we giving people that, by walking across that border illegally, by the definition, became criminals? Of course, there's an exception to every rule. Are all those people bad? No. Do they all have bad intentions? No. But I don't really think that it matters because of all of the side effects that I just brought up, and there's more. But yeah, like, they're driving wages down. They're causing housing shortages. I've seen multiple things on YouTube stories, like, where people, and this is on the people that are renting to them as well. They knew that what they were doing. They were charging by the head. Had 9 people. There's two different times. I think one was in Florida, and one was in, like, one of the Carolinas maybe. But one of them had 9 people in a trailer, and they were charging like $400 or $500 a head. And this was like a 2 or 3 bedroom trailer with 9 people in it. And most of them didn't know each other. Is this my coffee? I think it is. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of that going on. Driving rents up and whatnot. But another topic that's pretty interesting to think about, or like what's going to happen this week, is the whole SpaceX thing. I don't know what you guys think about that. I think it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. They know exactly who came in. We are in a surveillance state. I agree, Jay Watterson. There are no mass deportations, and there won't be. They want cheap labor. I agree. And ugh, this gets into sensitive territory for some people, and some people not so much. But Trump has backpedaled and went back on everything that he's promised almost. It wasn't always like this. I mean, he wasn't always like this. This is a recent thing. This is since this term, and his first day in office this time, first day as president, he signed an executive order, I believe. I think that's what it was, to allow AI and data centers unrestricted for 5 years. I can't remember what it was called. There is a name. I can't remember what it's called. But you're right. We're in a surveillance state. If they really wanted to, they could go out there and track every single illegal down probably within 6 months and have them all. I think the number is much larger than what they've been claiming. I have seen anything from I've seen numbers as low as like 3 or 4 million, which that's laughable, all the way up to 30 million or plus, 30 million plus, and I think that's probably closer to where it's at. I was talking about probably Eddie Murphy on here, and Smokey started looking up World War II, about middle of modern people during World War II. Audie, Audie, Audie Murphy. Oh, I know, draining the swamp. Like, look, that's another thing that burns my rear end, because you know what? I've been saying this for years. We need to wipe the slate clean. And I mean fire 100% of all government. The only thing we don't touch is the military. We leave the military as is. We're not going to mess with our defenses, especially while we're restructuring a government. Fire 100% of, from local to state to federal. Everybody's got to go. We only rehire 10 to 15% of the positions that are currently out there. So many positions are made up. Budgets crazy. Could you imagine how quickly we could make up our debt if we just did that right there and we cut our government by 90%? We don't need all these people. Most of these people come to work and do nothing. They just collect money or find ways to spend money. Mainly that's what they're doing, figuring out ways to spend their budgets. There was literally open checkbooks for USAID and other government agencies and programs. And it's still that way. Doge was supposed to stop it. They went in. They showed us what was going on. Thanks. Look, you can think one way or another about Elon, but the work that he done right there with that, I mean, that was good work. That was good work. It's nice that we have that to reference and say, look, we know that you guys literally gave them open checkbooks. They could do whatever they wanted. And they were. And the budgets are structured in a way that if they don't spend as much as they spent last year and a little bit more, then they lose some of their budget. It's the dumbest system. And of course, you factor in inflation, and we're not seeing the numbers like we were seeing during COVID because, COVID wasn't a factor. Don't get me started on that nonsense either. But Trump's throwing up numbers right now that people don't want to talk about. And we need to talk about it. And I have to take partial responsibility for this because I felt a different way about this guy until until all this happened. You know, I don't know. Mistakes have been made, and we're all paying for it. As far as the 2020 crap goes, now it's starting to come out about the whole January 6th thing. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about that in the past couple of weeks. Some bigger names have been covering it. Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla. They did a couple things about it. And then I've seen it on some other big YouTube channels. You'll never see it on mainstream media. But the fact that they had hundreds and hundreds of plants from the FBI, the CIA, other shadow government agencies in the crowd that were antagonizers. That Ray Epps guy, like, got called out immediately. And then you got this guy that was just gave a testimony in court the other day, or he gave the testimony a while back, but his footage came out recently, his body cam footage. And he claimed that he got knocked out, which I don't know that he did. But you hear all of the people that are right there around him saying, "No, leave that guy alone. Don't hurt him. Let's help him. It's all exactly what you would expect out of salt of the earth type people that they don't want to start violence. That was never the intentions outside of the ones that were planted there. Like, that's a whole different thing. And yeah. And also the Capitol Police that were there that started firing flashbangs into the mostly, or if not fully, peaceful crowd, and rubber bullets that ripped. Like, I heard some stories, and I'm not going to repeat them on here, but I encourage you to look into that a little bit. That was all, which I knew that from the very beginning. It was all bull crap. It was all bull crap. But yeah, there's no way Joe Biden won the 2020 election. And now we got the same thing going on in California. I watched it as it was happening. I'd have to try to find it and pull it back up. But I'm just going to give you some roundabout, like, numbers. Karen Bass was up. The Spencer Pratt, the LA mayor race. Spencer Pratt was at like 89,000 votes. She was at 120,000 votes. All right. And then you had this big influx of ballots, mail in or whatever. She literally got 30,000 votes in a row, and Spencer's number didn't change by one. Not by one. Out of those 30,000 votes that were counted, not one went to Spencer. That, my friends, is statistically impossible. It's not possible. Shows the links that so J6 shows the links that the governments will go to protect themselves and push their narrative. I think that was pretty small scale versus some other things that have happened, like, I don't know, 2001 comes to mind. There was certainly a whole scheme behind that, because if you listen to the colonel that found a paper in the Pentagon and then reported on it, there was a list, I think, of 5 countries, or maybe it was 7, that were to be attacked by America. And it was like written plainly on a piece of paper, and he found it. He's like, what is this? And Iran was the last one on the list. And here we are. And all the other ones that he said decades ago that he blew the whistle on this, it's all came true. It's all came true. Because that was the plan. They wrote it down. They meant it. Like, that's what they did. Come on. 7 countries in 5 years. Yeah, it ended up not being 5 years, but yes, that was it. Yeah, that was it. What was that colonel's name that blew the whistle on that? I can't remember his name. Good guy, though, for speaking out. You know, that's like when people talk about cops. Like, oh, most cops are good. Okay. I would love to think the same thing. I would love to have that bliss of being that ignorant. Here's where I come into the problem. If you know that your coworker is doing some egregious stuff, or if you've seen him violate people's rights, or go down the list of things that we like, breaking the law themselves on a daily basis. If you've watched your coworkers do these things and you don't stop them, say something to get them and say, look, I'm not giving up on this, you need to fire them. They don't need to be here. They're breaking the law. They're violating people's rights, whatever it is. And if you really want to get down to it, that's the majority that are doing that. And the ones that ain't doing it know that the other ones are doing it, and they're not stopping it. So therefore, I mean, it's process of well, they're all included because they know that their co-workers are doing this. I'm not okay with that. The Greater Is It Real project, is that what Obama explained back in like 2000? I can't remember what year it was. He had that sit down interview, and he was like, "You put out as much false information, disinformation, whatever, out into the public, and they get so overwhelmed by the information, they don't know what's real, what's not, what to believe, what not to believe." He gave that whole spiel, and I've seen it. Like, it's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, Obama flat out laid it out, like exactly the way things are right now. And this was years ago that he said that. I can't remember what the question was, but the question was something egregious as well. It was like, how would you take the country over? Or how would you control whatever? It was something like that. I don't know. We're cooked if we don't wake up and come together. As we all have a common interest, is we all want to do better. We all want our country to do better, and we want to stop being robbed. We have tons of taxation without representation. They can claim that they represent us, but just like here in West Virginia, just like I told you guys, our representatives voted to have this bill passed. They passed this bill, 2014, House Bill 2014, that took our voices away. Now, why would they do that? They would do that because they were getting money. They were getting kickbacks, and they knew. They don't care if they get voted out. And most of the time, let's be honest, politicians don't pay a political price for the things that they do, for the things that they vote for that are against our interests. We don't make them pay the political price. And as soon as they do that, see, that's something else that needs to change. We need to have immediate recourse. If enough people disagree and they vote against the majority of their constituents, we need a pathway to eject them from office immediately. We don't need to have to wait until the next election cycle so that they can do 2 or 4 more years worth of damage. We don't need. We need to fix that. That's ridiculous, and it needs to be effective. It doesn't need to be this super long, drawn out process. If you're in, like, if your constituents are in the numbers, let's just say 100,000 that you're representing, or 200,000 that you're representing, and 80,000 of them or 50,000 of them say, you know what? They put a poll out, they get the word out that, hey, we want to figure out where you guys stand on this in the constituent area. Take a vote. Do you guys, whatever you got to do. We have the power of cell phones now, and we should be able to set up apps to get people's opinions on how things are voted on. We shouldn't have this huge disconnect between us and our representatives anymore. Technology was supposed to close that gap. They should listen to us. They work for us. The entire government's supposed to work for us. I don't know. I went on a rant. I don't know how I got on this rant, but let's there was something I seen the other day about food. Oh, Matt, my showrunner for my show, is producing a new show on USA. Let's see. Can't remember what the name of it is, though. It is called Everything on the Menu with Braun Strowman. That's the show that he's producing right now. It returns for season 2 on USA. Looks like the first episode's with him and Bert Kreischer. Maybe I can share a link. Hang on. Copy. Maybe I can come in the chat and share a link. Braun Strowman. I'm not familiar with the guy. He was a Hall of... Did he say Hall of Famer? I don't know. He was in WWF, WWE, whatever it's called now. I grew up with the WWF. Hey, I can read the chat. For some reason, my chat's not popping up right either. Paste. Hey, it worked. I don't know if it'll be a clickable link for you guys, but I tried it. There it is. Link to a show that he sent me the other day. Me and him were talking. And like I said, I had a pretty good chat with my field producer. You know, Chusik, I have had many people recently, one of them being my field producer, telling me, he's like, Smokey, you got to start a podcast. he's like, man, you've been on the phone for 2 hours, and he's like, it's been the shortest drive I've ever had. I was like, I'm glad I could make your drive seem short. Because, yeah, we talked. He was literally driving by UBU there towards the end of the probably half an hour before the end of the conversation. And we just so happened to just breach the topic, and it wasn't because of him, it was because of me, of the Charlie Kirk debacle. You know, you can look at major events that have happened in my lifetime that I guess maybe since I became privy, or I had to go back on this one because I didn't really, I guess, technically wake up to this until 2007. But I went back and I started researching, and YouTube was very small back in 2008. I don't think I really started using YouTube until 2009, but Fahrenheit 9/11, that was a thing that I own. And of course, Michael Moore, which, what happened to that guy? It turned into a weirdo. Maybe he always was. I don't know. Anyway, started going back on the 9/11 thing, and then I've watched all these other crazy events happen, and they all have things in common. And it's not a coincidence. Like, these things have these major ties because the same people, or the same type of people, it might be because so many years in between, there might be new leadership or whatever, are behind it. Like, they're behind what played this out. And I'll tell you what, the Charlie Kirk thing, I'm not so sure we'll ever, just like all the rest of them, that we'll ever know the truth. You go back to 9/11, just use the Pentagon as one example. That's all you got to do. That was the most surveilled building in the world at the time. It had more cameras around it and pointing at it than any other building in the entire world. Soak that in for a second, and then go online and look at the only released footage of that day of the plane hitting that building. First of all, it took out 3 light poles before it got there. And I'm here to tell you, a solid steel light pole versus an aluminum wing on an airplane, that wing ain't got no chance, especially not at that speed. That pole is going to rip through it easier than a can opener rips through the top of a P-38 rips through the top of a can. That wing would have been, and then as soon as that happened, control of that airplane would have been completely lost, right? And they were going, 550, 600 miles an hour, that close to the ground. As far as I can tell, it's impossible. What they claim happened that day versus physics and reality, it's impossible. It could never happen. Let alone the technical side of what it would have taken pilot skill wise to maneuver that way, make that turn, come down, level out, level out with the ground, plow through poles, and still be intact when it hit the building. There weren't plane wings laying on the street where it hit the street lights. So, and yes, that's another point. The wings do contain the fuel most of the, if not all of the time. I don't know. I think they always have the fuel in them. So you are correct. So yeah, that would have either immediately drained the fuel off and they would have lost at least one side of their propulsion. The jet engine would have been ripped off with the wing because they're attached to the wings. And this thing maintained its course and plowed right into the side of the building. Okay, cool. Let's go with we believe that. Insanity. Okay. Show us. Which, waiting 25 years now and then breaking it out with the way AIs went, I don't even want to see it because I ain't going to believe it. Show me back then. Show me back then when they may have had capabilities like that somewhat back then, but why not? Why not show us? You know? Old school Bassin? Love the 80s brown baggers. I have an unopened case I plan to crack open soon. Favorites of dehydrated pork and beef patties. Well, I was lucky enough to get a freeze-dried hash brown in this one. I knew there was, I think there's a couple menus that had the freeze-dried hash brown. I could be wrong about that, but this ended up being in 1984, so wasn't sure what year it was because these were just random ones that I got with a 2004 case, and it turned out to be fantastic. Really, the only thing that was kind of gone was the maple nut cake, but it's still edible. Like, I ate a pretty good chunk of it. But I will finish that hash brown, even though it's got rancid oils. It's a little, it's right on the borderline, but it's still edible. And I will finish that turkey, even though it's cold, with the cracker. My mouth's watering thinking about it. It is really that good. I don't know, man. I don't know what we're going to do if we don't find some common ground. Another big thing, in my opinion, that is going to affect our collective futures, and this is going to sound a little bit weird, was the case of Alex Jones. I think Alex Jones was important in his own way, but what they done to him and set precedent, that's all they done that for, was to set precedent and at the same time run him out of business, which they succeeded in both. They succeeded in setting precedent. Basically removing free speech. And now we start hearing all these crazy stories, and they're doing it to other people now too. Who was the one that they were doing it to now? Because I as soon as I heard about it, I was like, they're using the Alex Jones precedent that was set to go after him. Dang it, I can't remember who it was. It was just the other day. But yeah, Alex Jones shut the doors on InfoWars because what they suing $1 billion they were awarded, and then some really crazy stuff happened after that. But none of that was even the point. The point was to set legal precedent so that they could use that case to go after people from that point on. And that's exactly what happened, and that's the world we're living in now. And we need to correct that as well. On a default judgment, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I know, that was one left-wing nut job judge, I'm going to say, I'll be honest. I don't think Alex should have apologized and backpedaled and done what he done, because I was paying attention at that time. He didn't do basically anything that they accused him of. He pointed out the anomalies, which were very real with what happened. And I mean, I guess now I'm taking a chance of even saying that, getting in some sort of trouble because they set precedent, right? You can't even say the truth anymore. They've made it illegal to speak the truth. That's the world we're living in. Made it illegal. They made it to where they can ruin you if you say things that they don't want you to say. And they're trying to make it illegal to speak negatively about Israel. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Pretty sure that's a thing. Which they just proved that a foreign government can buy a congressional seat in America. Tell me I'm wrong. Just happened in Kentucky. And they didn't hide it. Like, this is very, very public and very apparent that that's exactly what happened. Thomas Massey didn't bend over and take the AIPAC money. Spoke out against them. Spoke and done and voted in the direction for his constituents and for America. And this ties back to Trump. Trump decided, well, if you're not on the side of AIPAC and Miriam Edelson and the others, then you can't be in office anymore. And they spent records amounts of money on a congressional election, which, again, just like the last presidential election, is ridiculous. You should not have to raise hundreds of millions of dollars or $1 billion+ as Kamala and went in debt. Laughable. That lady was never electable. She was never actually elected into the positions. She wasn't elected to be vice president. She was not elected as candidate. She was not. She had no business. When she ran for president, nobody voted for her. So I think she was the first one that dropped out back in 2016. Was it 16? Or 20? 19? Whatever. Turkey diced in gravy, menu number 7 from 1984. And it was fantastic. I still got a little bit left over there, and I do plan to eat it. So yeah, 1984 turkey diced in gravy. It came with grape jelly, freeze-dried hash brown, maple nut cake, crackers, the turkey diced in gravy, cocoa beverage powder, and coffee. Is that everything? And a spoon. And accessories. But yeah, it was great. It was great. I hope the beef diced in gravy is even remotely as good as this one was, because this one was fantastic. I don't have any complaints. Not for the age of it. I mean, we're talking it's 42 years old. I'm getting old. Yep. Did I see the old couple that the YouTuber talked to after going to the island? No. Are you talking about a Tyler Oliver? Well, no, you meant they went, not the YouTuber went. Because, I mean, there's been a few YouTubers that have went to the island. There's some pretty detailed videos inside that thing right after he got arrested in 2019. There were some people that went there. But here's the kicker, guys. First of all, we should all still be focused on that. And every single one of those people should be in prison that done anything that was illegal, or horrible, unspeakable. So they busted the Manhattan mansion. I can't remember Was it on Broadway, or I can't remember where it was at. They busted that. They busted the island, but you know what they didn't mess with? What is it, 6,000 or 7,000 acres in Texas? His ranch. And apparently, the government went into, I think it was the ranch, and that's all kinds of hard drives and just all kinds of video, hard drives, old CDs, and the way we used to store media. And the government, the CIA, told the people that were there over the ranch, "Oh yeah, just put all that in the mail and send it to us." You think any of that happened? You think any of that got sent to them? Went to this island and talked to an old couple who had gone to a pizza party on the island. I haven't seen that. I don't think. I would like to see it though. Fireman food, yes. Yes, that's a good image. Yeah. You guys remember during COVID and the Biden rallies when there was like 30 people there? They had cars parked 10 feet apart and they were sitting in their cars. It was awesome. Okay, hang on. Let me pull YouTube up because this is about to die. I think it was down to 10%. I'm going to search what you've told me. YouTuber interviews old couple went to a pizza party on Epstein Island. Okay, a bunch of shorts are popping up. Is that it? Right there? Right here? Is that the video? Lawrence. Island party. Hot on the trail of Epstein. Border Julia K. There's a bunch of shorts for some reason. Oh yeah, the whole Comet Pizza. Look, and this might sound kind of far-fetched, but I think old Jeffrey had his hands in a lot of big events and happenings in America, clear back to 2004, I think, or definitely by 2008 when the housing crash happened. And it's crazy when you start going down the actual rabbit hole and start looking into the more finer details that they have dug up proof of. It gets deep. It gets really deep and conspiratorial. I mean, there's conspiracies everywhere now, and you got to think like, what? I don't like that word. I think we need to stop using it. We've got to do better because that was a CIA planted word to make you discount people that use it or labeled as conspiracy theorists. That's something that it's very wrong. But yeah, let's see. Ash Alk is the guy. Okay, all right. Is the YouTuber? All right. ASHALK. Okay. Is it elk? ALK. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Is that the one? That's the dude. But is that the video? Because if it is, I'll go ahead and click into it. Sued for sneaking onto Epstein Island. Oh, Epstein Ranch. He went to the ranch, too. Okay. That's got to be it, right? It's the video, if I'm not mistaken. It was a short. Oh, it was a short that you saw? Okay. Well, I'll watch both of them. I'll check this guy out because it looks like he's, he's barking up the right tree, if nothing else. So, and it looks like a bunch of shorts got tracked after visiting. Meets a creepy couple. Oh, this one right here. Right here. Whoops. Interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Definitely. All right. Well, I got batteries dying on both ends here, I think. I will try to get started earlier next week. I have got some crazy stuff going on, like real life stuff. Maybe the trailer park that I'm buying will be done this week. And then there's something else that I'm doing that I will announce it when I do it. I don't even want to talk about it until it's done. I think I will probably stay. I'll probably like, hey, look, this is what I've done. But I will release a little part, or I'll talk about a little part of that plan. Is I'm looking to get my son a food truck. My son's been in food service now for what? Is it like how many years has he been doing this? Like 8 years? 9 years? I don't know. Did he start when he was 16? Probably not. Probably 17. Anyway, 8 years he's managed 3 restaurants. He's currently managing one, working at another one. He's doing 2 right now. And yeah, I think it's time that we stop making other people money. He can make me a little bit of money. I'll make the investment, and he can run it. And that way, he's got something. But we got steps that we got to take. We got to figure menus out. I would love to have somebody consulting with me, throwing ideas or what they think this area. Like, there's a lot of factors to take into consideration. You look. We just had our local Pizza Hut close. It's gone. There's 2 pizza places left, I think. Well, 3 if you count Fox's Pizza, which I'm not a fan of. I never eat there, and I won't start now. We got Domino's left, and we have Geno's left. That's it. So we got 2 pizza places left. We have a McDonald's. We have a KFC, which all KFCs have went so far downhill, I haven't eaten at them in years. We have a Wendy's. And then we have a local restaurant called McClure's, which it's pretty ran down from what it used to be. Back when we were kids, it was a lot. I don't know that they haven't renovated. They haven't done any it's the same, except 20 years older. So everything's ran down. You know what I mean? So we've got that. What else do we have? We've got Taco Bell, Bob Evans, Tudor's Biscuit World, my son manages. We've got a Mexican restaurant right down the road here in Mason, and then another one across the river. There is a hibachi food truck over there, which that's all they sell is like, I think they have 8 items. It's a little odd that they wouldn't expand their menu a little bit, and I think that hurts them quite a bit. But to each their own. I mean, they're they're doing just fine with it, apparently. What else do we have? We have a little cafe, like mainly focused on coffee, but they do sandwiches and salads, I think. I've eaten there once. I got a buffalo chicken salad. It was pretty good, but it was like, I think, $25 for a salad. Kind of expensive for a salad, but there was a lot to it. There was a lot of meat. There was homemade ranch that was really good. Didn't justify the price. It should have been like, I would say $15 would have felt fine. 25 was a bit much. But yeah, we don't have a ton here. Even when I'm trying to list it off, there's not much. You know, we live in a place where there just hardly ain't anything here. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh, there's a Subway next to Domino's. Domino's and Subway's connected by one wall. You know, it's one little building. Subway on the right, Domino's on the left. What else? So the 2 Mexican restaurants, the cafe. That's pretty much it. Remus Tavern. I told my son, the best sandwich that I've ever had in my entire life. And look, I've done some traveling. I've eaten all over the United States. This, I mean, there's not even a close second to this sandwich, okay? It's Cincinnati. It's a place called Blue Ash. I think it's called Blue Ash Chili, but it's in the area of Cincinnati it's like a little suburb, I guess, but it's called Blue Ash. I got a reverse Reuben. It typically comes on a marble rye, but I got it on white bread, and it comes with this slaw on it. And when I say reverse Reuben, I think it's kind of like the opposite of what a Reuben would be outside of the bread. And I think that's why they were able. I think that's why they called it a reverse Reuben, because there's no pastrami or anything like that on it. I told him we need to take a research trip up there, because give me an excuse to go get another one of these sandwiches. I went up and got them twice, and both times I got, one time was probably a year or year and a half, maybe 2 years after I had it the first time. It's a good amount of time in between, and it was just as good the second time that I got it as it was the first time. It was awesome, but that's been a long time ago now. That's probably been I can't remember if it was after COVID, during COVID, or before. It's been at least 4 years, maybe 5. Because I stopped going to doctors at the end of 2022. I stopped cold turkey. I stopped going to all of them. And that's the reason I was up there. I can't remember what kind of specialist I was seeing. Doesn't matter. But got them sandwiches twice. It's the best sandwich I've ever had. I think that sandwich alone is enough to make a food truck famous. It is so good. If we could recreate what they're doing, I don't know if we could recreate the slaw they got on it. And it's a hot sandwich, and it's really good when you eat it there hot. But I brought the other half home the first time, and I did get a little bit of it, but my cat got into it. My cat got up there and got into it. I was so upset because that sandwich was so good, and that's why I was like jonesing to go back for it again. Got it again, brought it home, and I got to eat that other half cold. All the juices had like soaked into it, and it wasn't like mushy or anything. It was so good. I'm dreaming about it right now. It was so good. That sandwich was, I don't know, built for me, I guess. Maybe it's like my palate type thing. I don't know. I don't think so. I think a lot of people would like this sandwich, but it is a little bit odd for some people. Some people ain't going to be cool with having slaw on a sandwich, or that's probably the only thing that would throw some people off, is having slaw on it. It was a sweeter type of slaw. I would love to do a late night style food truck, basically stuck at high food ideas.
Well, see, I was talking to my son about the whole food truck thing, and I told him, I'm like, look, man, all these places close early. I think our niche and I think a lot of our success might be based on staying open a little bit later. And if that means that we've got to like we got to change employees working different shifts or whatever to stay open later, I think staying open till like 11 or midnight, like especially definitely Friday and Saturday, staying open later, and then doing some decently later hours, if not like maybe 11 o'clock during the week. Because a lot of people, man, they just don't want to go to McDonald's or Taco Bell or Wendy's because those are the places that'll be open later. Taco Bell, I think, well, the way they were open till like 2. I think they might be at midnight now. I don't know. Wendy's used to stay open late. I don't know if they still do. They used to be like a 2 a.m. thing. I don't know if they're still doing that or not. And McDonald's, they're open 24 hours, but I do believe they switched to a limited menu after midnight. So I don't know what that consists of. It's like, I think you can get double cheeseburgers and a Big Mac and some fries and nuggets, like the easy stuff, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the difference would be to just cook everything, but whatever. Whatever. Yes, I agree, Phoenix. I think it is. It's been ignored. I hear people all the time like, "Man, I wish Walmart was still open 24 hours. I wish McDonald's was still open 24 hours." Which here we do have one that's 24 hours. It's not normal though. McDonald's being open 24 hours a day is not normal. It is open here 24 hours though. So, I don't know. But I do think that the later night crowds, especially once they understand or see that they got a place that they can go and eat later, but that also puts you at having to clean up after you close at 11 or 12 o'clock. So there's that. So I don't know. We'll have to work all that out and see what we can test the waters and see how that works. I don't know. I do have an amazing spot. I feel like I've got the best spot in mind or whatever. You'll see. We'll probably do like some live streams or something once we get this stuff up and going. I am currently looking for a good food truck though. I would prefer that it be one that's been up and running and it's already went through the food safety and everything in Ohio. That's where I'm mainly focusing my look or my search is in Ohio. Stay up till 5. I hear you. I'm a night owl myself. I don't sleep a whole lot usually either, though. Very rarely do I get a solid stretch of sleep, and that's been taking a toll on my body for sure. And I would like to be able to correct that. Are you in Phoenix? Is that where you're at? Like outskirts where there's not so much light pollution? I live in a tiny town that should not have light pollution. We are blown out with light pollution. Look here, I'll show y'all. Let me go outside. Y'all gotta see this. You gotta see this because it burns my rear end. My yard looks like it's daytime. I'm not joking. Look at this. That's one. Look over here. There's another one on the back side. Look at this. Look at my yard. My bedroom window's over there on the other side of my house. Like seriously. I'd say my raccoons are out back. You guys want to see them? I'm sure they're out there. They gotta be. Oh yeah, they're tearing stuff up. Good Lord, guys. Hang on. All kinds of raccoons out here, What are you doing? Don't be fighting. Hi. Easy, guys. Here, honey. Those are babies. You guys have tore everything up. Got all the food bowls tore up and emptied. All right. I'll be out here to clean it up in just a minute, okay? No, don't come in. Hang on. I'll get you some more cookies. Hang on. Hey, what are you doing? You can't come in. Come on. Out. Here. Here. What are you doing? Hey. What the? Hey. 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 You can't do that. What in the world? Well, that's the first time that's ever happened. Here you go, babies. All right. Well, I'm closing the door before it runs back in. Holy Jesus. What the heck? That's never happened before. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, well. They're a handful. I keep them out of everybody's trash, I guess. I don't know. I enjoy them. They bring me their babies. So not last night, night before. Or maybe it was the night before that. I got that one that just ran in, brought me her babies, and they are, I am not kidding, you standing up, they're that tall. They're just wee little tiny, and they use a little, and they sit down and you give them just a little piece of cookie like that, and they nibble on it forever. They're cute. They're cute. And they let me pet them because I guess because the mom, I don't know. It's never been like this before. So this is a new thing. Typically keep my distance from them. I mean, other than feeding them cookies, but they've been around for years. I don't know if you guys could hear that one wheezing. This is her 7th year here, I believe. So, yeah. Yeah, she definitely trusts me. And that's what I've said that multiple times. Like, she trusts me fully. And usually, well, not usually, but she's only been here, I think, 2 nights in a row with them. She'll be the first one out there, and she'll have her babies with her. And then she'll take them back to wherever she takes them. And, yeah, I don't know where they go. I have no idea. I have tried to find them because last year, I think I had, with the babies that were new last year, I think I had like 15 raccoons. And I tried to follow them to see where they were going. And I tried in the daytime to find, I have no clue where raccoons go. I don't know. They go up in a tree. They go in a hole. I don't know where they go, but they hide. They do a good job at hiding. That's for sure. And I can promise you right now they're going crazy out there because they ain't got no food or water. So I got to go out there and deal with them. I'll have to deal with them before I even clean this up. They tear stuff up. Like, they'll get in the trash. If they don't have food, they're menaces. They're worse than having a dog almost. I don't know. They can be fun though. So yeah, well, you all got to see some raccoons. I could probably set a camera up on them things and do really well on like TikTok or something, but I got no interest in that. But Phoenix, you brought up the star thing, and it used to be really dark in my backyard. But look, I can still see the sky whenever it's clear. And of course, you guys know that I went a long time without talking about this because I knew the repercussions of being called crazy and all those things. But I've been filming them for years, and I've had all my neighbors have seen them. They're as long as the sky's clear enough, it's pretty much a nightly thing. They did stop for about, how long was it? think it was almost 2 months. No. Yeah. Yeah, they stopped for 2 months after the initial Iran thing. Trump dropped that when bombs started dropping over there, they disappeared. And they come back in April sometime. I think April, or it might, yeah. They ain't been back a super long time. And then there was when they did disclosure, the first disclosure day, or maybe it was the second round. I can't remember. Anyways, whenever that happened, I can't remember if it was the first or the second round. I think it was the first round. They had come back, and then they did the disclosure, and they disappeared again. That time, not as long. I think it was only for, I've said it before, it was like a week. I didn't keep track, so I'm just kind of going off memory. But yeah, it's really weird that they stopped during those times. That makes me wonder, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? Is this a government thing? I think that's quite possible. I think that if you believe Werner von Braun, he said on his deathbed, told his assistant, that if this ever happened, if these things ever became mainstream and we saw them everywhere like now, that he said that it would 100% be the United States government behind it. That's what he told his assistant, and she kept that secret until I think she was dying. So I don't know. You know, you believe those people or not. You either choose to believe them or you don't. And I think I kind of believe him. You know, the United States government just continued doing exactly what Germany was doing. We just brought them over here and continued the same thing. Testing on people, all kinds of stuff. The same stuff. With the same scientists, the same people, you know. Literally didn't skip a beat. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up, get off of here, go deal with them. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks to everyone who super chatted. Dan, you probably aren't watching this anymore, but thanks to Dan for the super chat earlier. And I can't remember who the other one was. Can I see what the super chats were? Maybe I can. Super chats. Survival Empire Ration Reviews was the other one. That and Dan. But all right. I am going to go deal with them and then deal with this mess. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will try to be earlier next week. It depends. There's a lot going on right now, like I said. I don't even want to go through the list of everything I got going on right now, but it's a lot. It's a lot, and I need to get more done. I wish I had an assistant or something. I need an assistant to just like do stuff. just go get stuff. Go get this. Go get that. That's what I need. A gopher. All right. Again, thank you guys. Thanks to the patrons if anybody's still hanging out over there. And yeah, this was an awesome 1984. Oh, weird. 1984. After everything we were just talking about. Great 1984 ration. Read the book 1984, huh? All right, I guess all I got left to do now is say thank you guys for watching. And I plan to see you guys next week unless something comes up. I'll make a post to let you guys know. Later.